Never boil eggs in water directly. If you want your boiled eggs to be stunning, soft, and easily peel off, you're at the right place. Today I'm going to teach you a special recipe from a 5-star hotel kitchen, and believe me, once you make it, you'll never boil eggs the traditional way again. The eggs will come out nice and tender, crack-free, and the shell will just remove with a soft touch. Perfect, right? Where are you looking today? Leave a comment. I'd love to see. Don't forget to subscribe now so you don't miss more genius and simple cooking concepts. Alright, hold on, because we're about to make the best boiled eggs you've ever tasted. Even before we think about cooking, the first thing we need to do is wash the eggs, and yes, this is more important than it looks. Have you ever taken a moment to realize how dirty eggshells can be? Sometimes they come with feathers on them, sometimes a small part of droppings, or even just dust from the farm or store. And gosh darn it, nobody wants to heat eggs that introduce all of that filthiness to the pan. Tell me, do you wash your eggs before boiling them? Or do you just put them directly into the pot? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious. Now, this is what I do every time. I place 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of salt in a bowl and add about 500 milliliters of water to it. I mix it all up until it dissolves and then wash the eggs gently in this solution. The baking soda dissolves any dried stain or dirt, and the salt is a natural germ killer that destroys bacteria and leaves the shells clean and safe. It's such a small step, but what a difference it makes, not just for cleanliness, but for the final product. Cleaner eggs cook better, peel better, and there's no odd smell. I always stop to do this, and I promise you, once you start, you won't skip it again. Now, let's talk briefly about why it really does matter to wash eggs. Most people skip this, but did you know that the exterior of an eggshell may contain harmful bacteria like E. coli or even salmonella? These bacteria attach to the soil, feathers, or fecal matter that find their way on the shell and easily find a path into your food if you are not careful. When boiling eggs without rinsing them, all that debris makes its way into the pot, and to make matters worse, it can make its way onto your hand, your tools, or even into the egg via tiny pores in the shell. That's why I never take the chance. It's just not worth it. After the eggs are washed in the baking soda and salt soak, I do nothing else. I take every egg and carefully pat it dry with a clean kitchen towel or paper napkin. This dries out the eggs and wipes away any leftover dirt and moisture and leaves the eggs in good condition and dry before we continue. It's an extra step, but it gives peace of mind, and clean eggs are just nicer to cook with, right? Before we go, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel. It makes a huge difference to me. Every single subscriber gives me the motivation to keep going and share these useful tips with you. So, if you haven't hit that button yet, now's the time. And to everyone who's already subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it so much. Now let's move on to step 2. I fill a pot with 1 liter of water and place a small bowl in it. Into this bowl, I place some vinegar and a pinch of salt, and this step is more important than it appears. The vinegar contains acetic acid in it, which reacts with the calcium carbonate in the eggshell. This loosens the shell slightly and allows it to break open more easily after cooking. The salt is not only good for steaming, but it also aids in the reaction, so that the eggshell peels off easily with hardly any effort. Then I place a steaming rack or mesh tray on top of the bowl. I'll place all the eggs inside here. You can cook in any sort of container or steamer with holes, whatever is going to make the steam flow and slowly cook the eggs on all sides. Because of the steam and the vinegar salt bath, the eggs are cooked softly, with smooth whites, no cracks, and the shell just slips off. It's the secret to getting flawless, easy peel hard-boiled eggs every time. Let's cook the eggs now. I heat the water to full with the stove on high and boil it to a full boil. When it's boiling, I leave it at the same heat and steam the eggs for 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how soft or hard you want them. This method is much better than regular boiling. When you boil eggs in water, they bounce around the pot, bump against the sides, and crack. That is when the egg white starts oozing out, creating a mess and wasting food. But when we steam them like this, the eggs just sit still, no bouncing, no cracking, and the results are flawless every time. Another gigantic benefit is the smell. Have you ever noticed that when you boil eggs in water itself, they always smell so strongly fishy? That has a tendency to occur when you boil them in water directly. But when you steam them, the eggs have a much fresher, pleasant smell. No odd odors, only fresh, delicious eggs to eat. After steaming the eggs, the second important step is to cool them down quickly. I place the eggs and drop them into a cold water bowl. This stops the cooking process right away and lets them cool down a lot faster. And anyway, it peels so much better. Discussing peeling, this is my secret. I take a knife and tap little cracks along the egg length, just cracking the shell. And then I crack along the top and the shell comes off in giant pieces. No sticking, no mess, just perfectly clean, smooth eggs in seconds. And now, let's crack one open. See that? The shape is nice and rounded, the yolk is central, bright, and smooth. And the flavor? So soft, rich, and natural, no rubber texture, no funny odor, just a really good egg. Sincere, this method changed my way of cooking eggs for better. What about you? Would you try the steaming method at home? Leave your opinions in the comments below. I would be glad to hear your views. You may or may not know, but boiled eggs are one of the healthiest foods to eat. They are packed with good quality protein, which maintains your muscle power and provides you with enough energy throughout the day. They contain vital vitamins like B12 for your nerves, vitamin D for your bones, and vitamin A for your eyes. On top of that, eggs are rich in minerals like iron and selenium, and they're one of the healthiest natural sources of choline, a nutrient that's great for maintaining a healthy brain, especially as we age. So, if you're looking for something convenient and healthy, eggs are the way to go. And the best part? You can do so many things with them. Eat them plain with a little salt, cut them on bread, put them in a salad, or even eat them with soup or yogurt for a quick and nutritious meal. They go with everything. How do you like your eggs? Do you have a preferred way of eating them? Leave your comments below. I'd love to see them and maybe even put them into action in the next video. What do you think of this egg steaming method? It sounds weird, I know, but the proof is in the pudding. No cracks, no mess, no sticking. The eggs are soft and silky, easy to peel, and they smell fresh and clean, not fishy like with regular boiling. This method gently heats the eggs through the use of steam, so you don't have to worry about rapid temperature fluctuations or the eggs bumping around in the pan sides and cracking. It's really the best I've discovered after trying at great length with several various methods. And the clincher? No specialized equipment required, just a pot, a small bowl, and something perforated to hold the eggs suspended in the air above the water. I'd love to know, do you ever steam eggs? Or do you have another method that's just as good? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing your tips. Maybe there's something from your culture or your tradition that I haven't found yet. Let's share tips. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who still peels eggs. Your support means the world to me. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. That one click encourages me to keep creating and sharing tips like this with all of you. Good health and happy cooking to you all. See you in the next video.